This is my favorite upcycling technique. It's part of our upcycle your offcuts tutorial. It's called seam stacking. It's when you get all of your little scraps. So just dip your hand into your scrap bin, pull out a bunch of materials that look nice together, and then we're going to basically grow a new material. Hey Oscar, what's up? We're going to grow a new material so that we can then come through and cut out new pattern pieces. So denim offcuts are really good. Like this bag here was made with all of the waistbands from a couple of pairs of pants. So we harvest off all of the legs of the pants and make tote bags and things. And then all the pockets, the waistbands, the buttonholes, all those tiny little bits are so juicy and so good for making new materials. And then this one was, like I said before, we just chuck the hand in the scrap bin. Maybe took like an hour to make the material for that messenger bag. What we're going to do today is piece these together to make a new little material. So we start with just a simple seam, and there's one key trick with this technique, and that's that we always want to be joining on a straight line. So we've got our two pieces of material, fold them right sides together, and then we're just going to bolt it down here. So just come with a 1 centimeter straight stitch, about a 2.5 mil stitch length. If you want to pin or clip this, then be my guest. Given that we are live, I don't want to be taking up too much time from everyone's day. So fold that out. We've got a nice little join, and this is where we can come and add some top stitching details. So you see on this one here, we've got a nice purple zigzag. So follow along with that, chuck it over onto a zigzag. I'm going to top stitch over the side that is the thinner material. It's just going to sit a bit flatter. All right. So we've joined our materials. We've strengthened that seam with a top stitch. So we're looking schmick o'clock. Now what we can do, if we've got larger pieces like this, is I'm just going to cut it along here so that we get a little bit more complexity, and then join it back together. So what that looks like, I'm going to do this as straight as I can. If you saw my setup with the streaming point of view thing here, it's a bit harder than it looks. There we go. And then I'm just going to offset those like this. So I'm going to stitch them back together. So this is a really good way. You don't have to work with tiny little scraps to get nice complex designs. So if you look at some of the ones we have on our website, a lot of them look like we're working with these tiny little pieces the size of a gold coin or something, whereas we can just cut and rejig like this to get more complexity. As we can see, we've got a nice little detail taking shape there. So this time we're going to get a top stitch over both. So come along here, back onto the zigzag. Nice. All right, we're rocking and rolling, building a new sheet. So this is the tricky part here. So see, we've got this corner here. This is kind of the only rule with this technique, is we always need to be joining on a straight edge. So if I want to put that piece in there, I can't do a right angle like this. I mean, you can, but it's going to be a nightmare. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a piece that's big enough to come across here, and then join it back across there. So I'm going to slice this bit off, join it back onto, so we've got that nice little corner. We're going to join it onto here, and then we're going to bolt it back on. So we're going right sides together, bang it on there, back onto a straight stitch. Alright, this time I'm going to top stitch over the thicker side, mainly so that we can see it. Normally I do the thin side. Zigzag, yummo. So now we've got a new piece. We've got our two flat edges that we can join together. So now, goodness, now we're going to join those together here. We're going to offset the seams because we don't want it to be too bulky. It's also going to look a bit snazzier that way. Maybe, you know what, let's go on the other side, then we get it. That's even more fun. Back onto a straight stitch. Alright. Last little stitch here onto a straight stitch. Again, stitching over the bulkier side of the seam. So we've got a little detail here that we started with, and then something over here. So if I was making this into a piece, I'd probably cut through here. This could have a bit more detail going on. It cut through there, maybe even we could join it back over here, or we could grow out the material to make it even bigger and use this piece to add it on the other side. So what we kind of want is this kind of composition where we've got a bunch of different textures and materials coming together. They were scraps when they started, and now they're looking nice and crisp. Last thing to add on this is if we're building this material to cut a pattern piece out of it, don't try and cut the pattern pieces and jigsaw it in perfectly. We want to make the material larger than the pattern piece and then cut it back down. Seems like a silly, straightforward thing, but it makes our lives a whole lot easier. Cool bananas. So, thanks for tuning in, legends. Rock and roll. Have a good day. Bye.